Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Welcome to another special podcast episode which is presented through the holy month of Ramadan. My name is Hussain, Lawati. I'm the head of HSE in Gas Network and in GLE, and I'm accompanied with Miss Ulfat Zakwani. She is our HSE engineer in upstream as well. Ulfat, thank you very much for joining us and making the effort.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Ulfat, how about we walk the audience through some of the safety measures during the holy month of Ramadan?
Yeah, of course, and also we're approaching Eid. So as you know that with holy month of Ramadan, there's a sudden change of lifestyle. This month of Ramadan, it's great for a person to break their habit. It's a month of patience. It's a blessed month, but also there are a lot of challenges that's happening in the industrial areas, or mainly safety at work. So can you at least tell me, what are the challenges that our co-workers and our partners face at work?
Well, in upstream, as we know, we have certain operations or several operations that happen in upstream. We have drilling, we have constructions, we have ongoing projects, we have processing facilities where we produce gas and oil in them. So the operation is quite big in upstream. And of course, it requires a lot of driving back and forth from the work site to home.
True.
We have rotational employees who are spending certain amount of time in the fields. We have people who are doing 5-2, i.e. office work.
Yes.
So if I would like to mention something, then driving would be my pick number one.
Such as?
The fatigue associated with driving, the long distances that they usually do. If we accompany it with the change in lifestyle, nutrient deficiency, dehydration, that the employee can go through, then we look at some possible impacts due to that.
Especially that they wake up at night, so you have iftar, and then you have the prayers, tarawih, and then you have also suhoor.
And then we have the suhoor as well, exactly. So in upstream, what we do is that we try to overcome those obstacles by introducing some control measures, just to try and mitigate the risks associated with their activities. So for driving, for example, we always encourage that another driver is accompanying the first driver. So it's 2 drivers per trip. The journey itself is controlled by journey management. Okay, so we have a journey manager who will be following at certain interval of times with the drivers. We try to ensure that we empower our employees with authorities like stop authorities, the ability to say no if they haven't had a decent sleep during the night.
And any unsafe acts.
Absolutely, exactly. And as a leadership team in Ookyo, we always encourage not to overcome any safety measures. We always keep safety first, and we always encourage our frontline supervisors, our team leads, to oblige with those rules during those activities.
Especially that these some of if we are talking about industrial areas, there are a lot of risk associated by the work that our co-workers they take over. At site. Other than driving, there is lifting, they are drilling, just like you said earlier.
Exactly. Another thing, we are also encouraging our employees through the leadership team. We ask them to reschedule the high critical activities at certain periods of time, if possible.
So we have flexible timing.
We do have flexible timing in terms of planning. If it's managed through the planning phase, then yes, we can do that. We all know that Ramadan phase coincides with some hot weathers. I know we are not yet there in the extreme summer timing.
But we're already there.
Exactly. But still the heat and the temperatures are quite high, especially in the fields. So we always encourage the planning team to plan their activities during the holy month of Ramadan at cooler weather time, so early morning or just before sunset.
And let's not forget that Ookyo focuses also on the campaign to ensure that the awareness are there, because at the site we have our partners, our business partners, we also have our employees. So we have the Muslim and the non-Muslim. So we accommodate together, and we teach each other, we learn from each other, especially in this month of Ramadan, not to mention in other months as well.
Let's not forget that our core values in Ookyo are share, dare and care. And if we don't apply them in Ramadan, then when we are going to apply
And we actually apply it in every other days as well, but mostly in Ramadan, because like you said, change of lifestyle and everything.
Exactly. And I'm sure that there are some habits as well that happens in the domestic areas or at home.
Yes.
Where we can actually introduce some safety measures as well.
Of course. Like for example, if we're going to talk about, I would like to focus mostly in the kitchen, because as you know, with the month of Ramadan,
it's a month of cooking, yeah.
The month of cooking, exactly. So you have a lot of recipes going on, everything, but you have people either they cook at the very early morning or nearly by iftar, breaking their fast. So the level of concentration there is not that quite.
Yep.
And then let's not forget that the risk associated in the kitchen, for example, if you have the open fire or leaving the pots unattended, you go and say like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it for 5 minutes, go and come back. It's quite dangerous.
Yeah.
And then you have also the oil spills on the floor, and you have the larger pots, you know, when we cook for our families.
For big families,
so I would like to highlight this one because we are approaching Eid, and we cook for a large number of people in our family, especially the large families.
Yep.
You have the different type of cooking, so we are dealing with hot pots and larger pots.
Big hot pots.
Yes, exactly. So the person who is cooking, they need to be mindful in where they are going, and then they should always seek help. And it's quite important that you keep your fire blankets, because we also have help in the kitchen. Whoever that's cooking in the kitchen.
And it's not only help in the kitchen. It's a kitchen. It's inside the house, and we have kids at house.
Yes.
It's not a restricted area, so kids can always pop into you while you're cooking.
So we need to be mindful for that.
Yeah,
so if it's possible that we don't let the kids be in the kitchen, so that it's not we don't get interrupted. Because we have we have the open flames, we have the gas leaks. There are a lot of techniques or a lot of ways that you can identify in the kitchen in order for you to be as safely as possible. For example, in the kitchen there are some gas hoses with the latest technology that it's able to detect a leak. So with the latest technology, it can automatically switch off the leak. So that's the best thing. It will isolate
it from the source.
So as a person, the ones who cook in the kitchen, I need to make sure that all my tools in the kitchen are functional, and I should be able to safely cook instead of changing a situation to a tragic situation.
Absolutely, exactly. One more thing, Ulfat, I'm just making reference to as well is driving during the holy month of Ramadan.
Yes. Especially the long distance.
And also in Eid, we have people traveling long distances, especially during weekends, where people travel to their hometowns.
Yes.
After spending long hours in the office, and then after that immediately they go there. So fatigue is always an element over there as well. And it's always advisable that we ask people to take a small nap, even a power nap, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
It makes a wonder, honestly.
Exactly. And we can also acknowledge that driving is one of the risks that is associated with Oman as a whole. It's not only industrial related, but also in Oman as well.
Yes. Whether if they are driving in the morning through their fasting, we are talking about dehydration. And if they are driving at night as well, they need to be very careful, because especially if they have a very heavy meal.
Absolutely.
So I would like to highlight something as well, that again with Eid, is that the first day of Eid, especially that we have a lot of employees who go to their hometown. If they are not sleeping at night, preparing the meals, preparing all of the necessities for the Eid with our families.
Exactly.
So they need to be very careful when they drive. Seat belt, they shouldn't be distracted. We do our best.
If I relate as well, one very interesting thing that we did in upstream in terms of driving within industrial areas, we have installed fatigue management devices in our buses.
Yes.
Buses, they carry a large number of people, thus the number of affected people may increase. And we acknowledge that fatigue is an element. So we installed fatigue devices which can detect if the driver is snoozing or
Nice.
or is distracted from driving. So he's driving unsafe driving.
Yeah.
And it will send signal to the seat, which will vibrate and bring him back to the line.
Yes.
So this is very interesting thing. I'm not sure if something of that technology is also applicable in personal vehicles as well, but I would love to see it sometime.
Inshallah.
I would love to see it sometime, inshallah.
But there are a lot of technologies are there that we could accommodate to our safety as well.
Exactly. Ulfat, thank you very much for making the effort and attending this episode.
Thank you again, Hussein, for having me. I hope we were able to cover as much as valuable information for our audience. So thank you again.
Lovely. Thank you as well for our audience. And I wish you Ramadan Mubarak. In advance, happy Eid, and wish to see you again in the next episode of this special podcast during the holy month of Ramadan. Good night.